Welcome, everybody, to our first season ticket member happy hour. I am Craig Hoffman, joined the Spirit this offseason after really just falling in love with the club and the team last fall. It's such a unique and special place within the sports world, and I appreciate everyone's warm welcome to those of you who have reached out with all the stuff we've been doing, and I look forward to meeting the rest of you over the next couple of months. Before we get started, actually wanted to let you guys say hello to a few members of our front office staff that are here as well. And hopefully they are on here, Bernie. I forgot to double check. So either this is going to be telling you about someone and that they're awesome, or they'll be able to say hello. But we want to start with Lauren Kenney, who's our director of sales. She has been in sports ticketing her entire career at the Chicago Red Stars and Sky Blue, as well as working in minor league baseball, and has been with us on a part-time consulting basis the last 2 years. And then Gretchen was able to swing her over on full time. So Lauren is here, and hi, Lauren.
Hey everyone. So great to see you all. I tried to put a Spirit background on here, but it didn't work out so well. I think I need a green screen next time.
Next time. Mason is the background expert. Talk to him. Lauren has been building her team since she got here full time, and 2 of our team members are here today as well. And apparently because Paige, Dorian, and Scarpa weren't enough, we hired another Tar Heel. Alia Shaban went to UNC and was working in their ticket office, and she's now with us back home. Her family's from the Northern Virginia area. So I believe Alia is here. There she is. In 3, 2, and 1.
Hey everybody, I'm Alia. I am really excited to be here. I've been with the Spirit the last 2 or 3 months or so super excited.
Thanks, Alia. And working with Alia, she gets to go last because that's where champions go, and she has smoked us in our staff trivia. So Zoe Wulff gets the cleanup spot here, or gets to go in our final spot. She was a passionate NWSL fan and is combining that passion with the intellect to do more than just, beat us in trivia. She's helping a role in our theme nights and everything else going on in the ticket office. So there's Zoe, everybody.
Hi, guys. Thanks for that, Craig. I appreciate you letting them know about my trivia skills.
I mean, I'm hoping that they don't last more than another week, but that's a trash talk conversation for another time. Thanks, Zoe. And we just wanted to make sure that you all knew these faces because they're who you will be in contact with as we learn more about the future of our season. Obviously, the league has said we're aiming for a late June start, and we're working on a schedule accordingly. If we get to a point where that can be finalized and released, Lauren, Alia, and Zoe will be in touch to make sure all your needs are met, and we can get you guys to as many games as you can possibly make this season. So without further ado, the reason that you are here, our players, let me introduce them real quick. She's number 1 in your program. And so she gets to be number 1 for the intros too. And for my money, she's also the number 1 goalkeeper on the planet. It's Aubrey Bledsoe, everybody.
Oh. Hi, guys.
You thought I was going to go with the cliche number 1 in your hearts, didn't you? You thought that's where that was headed.
Heard it quite a few times.
Yeah, well, I tried to be original and went with something different. I don't know. We'll see if it works. Next up, someone who absolutely hated the stupid, cold, windy weather today more than you. Our resident Floridian, who also happens to be a wonderful midfielder and all-around delightful person, Meggie Dougherty Howard.
Hey, guys. Thanks for tuning in tonight.
And the last but not least, the person who is going to take my job someday, and it really is whenever she wants to take it because she's really good at it. But right now she's busy playing left back. That's Tegan McGrady.
Hi, guys.
Don't take my job, Tegan.
Nah, maybe.
Maybe. Maybe. All right, let's go to our first question. Julie and Kenlee are our first question, or Julia and Kenlee are our first question. What's up? How are you guys? Can we unmute them real quick? There we go.
We're good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Hi, girls.
Hi. Okay, so our first question is, if you're looking to get scouted for college, what do you think is best, high school soccer or club soccer?
Ooh. Who wants to take that one first?
I'll
Meggie?
defer to Tegan because she's the youngest.
Okay, we'll go that route. Tegan went through this process most
Things have
recently.
changed since
My ops.
Yeah, so I'll take that one.
I would definitely have to say that from my point of view, what got me the most looks coming out of that age and going into college was definitely club soccer, just because with the huge tournaments and everything that they have based out of club soccer is to get college coaches to look at you. But I would also love to say that I was someone who did play high school soccer too, and I took a lot of pride in it just because I got to play with my sister. I love playing for my high school and representing them. So I don't think that there's any downfall in playing high school soccer either. So I think both are great.
Meggie?
Yeah, I would say in terms of the most visibility you would get for college coaches would be playing club. I also did a lot of camps over the summer. So I was going to different schools that I was interested in. And one thing I'd say about that, because just from a money standpoint, camps can really add up and get expensive, is that I would not go for the entire length of the camp. I would only go for 2 days max, and tell them that up front, and just make sure that you're going and you know that the coach is going to look at you as a potential player, because there's a lot of players who go to those camps and it's easy to get lost in the mix. So I'd say if you are going to go the camp route, that you make contact with the coach ahead of time and express your interest in going to the school, and make sure that they know you're going there as a way for them to see you as a future player, not just going there for like a fun social camp.
When I say this as someone who is basically the same age as you, I'm actually older. Way back in the day, what was your process like in terms of getting recruited, high school versus club?
Yeah, that was great advice from Meggie. If there's any particular schools that you want to go to and you want to be sure that the coach will see you, definitely go to their camps. Because Wake Forest was a bit of a reach for me. I really wanted to play in the ACC, and it was, kind of a dream school of mine. So similar to Meggie, I went to their camp, did well there, and then they scouted me through a club tournament. So club is the best way to be seen. If you definitely have a school you want to go to their camps. But also high school is fun. Like, enjoy playing for your school and with your friends, and it's great camaraderie. So if you can do it all, great. But if you have to make decisions, just think about what your priorities are. If it's college, if it's the social life, and make your decisions from there.
Cool. Great question, girls. Appreciate you guys. We'll see
Best of luck.
See you out at the games.
Bye. Thank you.
All right, Lisa is our next question. Lisa, you are up.
Oh, as in Lisa Seacrest. So, I didn't really have one. I was just listening. So, what are you guys doing for training while you're off on the COVID-19 restrictions?
So this is actually a great group to ask this, because we have 3 players that are in different scenarios. Tegan is where a lot of our players are, in the apartments. Meggie lives with the host family, and then Aubrey is at home in Cincinnati. So Meggie, why don't you go first on this one? You've got a little bit different setup. How are you handling this in terms of the training situation?
Yeah, so just trying to stay active. What is really kind of crucial with the way I train is having a schedule that I can stick to and hold myself accountable. So I'm fortunate at my host family where I have a lot of dumbbells and bands that I've been able to continue doing lifts like I would if I were in a gym. So I haven't really had to adjust that aspect of my training too much, which has been really nice. I'd say the toughest thing would be finding a field to play on. So I actually haven't been on a field since we've been back from Florida, which has, been challenging, but everyone's in the same situation. So you just have to try your best to make it work. I had been going out to a tennis court and kicking against a wall there and getting some touches. But then that got locked up. So I had to relocate. So I've been going to the top of a parking garage and hitting the ball against some walls there, and just trying to make it work the best I can. And
the top seems like a silly place to do it, because if you miss hit one, why don't you just go in the bottom and then you're covered?
Right. I hear that, but the thing about the top is that it's actually flat. You know, there's no ramps.
Yeah,
so,
that's true. That's true.
Hopefully I'm not kicking the ball 4 feet in the air either. So,
I mean, it just depends on how high the wall is.
Pretty good, Craig. Come on now.
I know she's great. I'm just saying, you know, one miss hit and
yeah,
there it goes.
And then just a lot more running out on the road than I typically do, just because there's no fields. So, yeah.
Obs?
Yeah, I'm in Cincinnati at my parents' house. They make great roommates. I was coming back from playing in Australia when the league was shut down. So I've been kind of stuck here and waiting for things to get going again. But it's been a blessing because I've gotten to spend a lot of time with my family and my brother. My younger brother is also a pro goalkeeper, and he's home. So we've been training together. We don't have the best fields available. We're just kind of like finding open grass wherever we can. All goals have been locked up, shut up. So just trying to find the best mode, non-muddy, bumpy grass in the area and making it work. And then I have a pretty decent home gym set up. So I'm in there in the mornings and then whatever field I can find in the afternoons and just trying to be resourceful and make the most of what I've got.
Rose said the other day that she is running by some convent by her high school there in Cincinnati. Do you know where that is? Can you go run with Rose by the convent?
I could. She'd probably smoke me. And she's
Okay,
a
run at the
Westsider,
same time as Rose, not necessarily with Rose.
Yeah, right. I could, but I do a lot more like agility stuff.
Yeah.
I've got some speed ladders at home, and but yeah, I'll have to hit her up, see if she has a goal. I know she's training at some fields over by her place. We're kind of like opposite sides of the city.
Yeah. That stinks.
Not so close.
Sorry, our Cincinnati geography is not as good as it should be.
Yeah.
It's like we have the
An
Aubrey section, the
Eastsider,
Bailey
much cooler
section, the
than the
Rose
West Side.
section.
You're right.
A lot of different
Faye's a
spots.
Westsider too.
Okay. You guys have to put it on a map
There you
for us
go.
when you get back.
Yeah.
All right, Teagues, what about you for this training situation?
Well, I have a roommate, so I am lucky to be rooming with Jordan DiBiase, and we do pretty much all of our training together, just us two. The other day we finally got a little bit more weights for just our home together, so we do all of our lifts here. Sometimes we have to turn some of our lifts more into body weight ones, just depending on the exercises that we have. So we have a pretty good setup here at home. And then also, like Aubrey, we kind of find our patches of grass here and there to do our skills work and whatnot, which is really nice because I think we can both, help each other out with what we each needed done each day in terms of technical skill, in terms of, what each of us want to work on position wise. And I think our positions can sometimes help us in the fact of, certain movements that I want to work on help her movements because we offset each other with where we need to be on the field. So we have actually been getting, along well with, what we have open to us right now.
Very cool. That's great. All right. Next up is Chris Ray is that's the name, but it looks like we have company as well. What's our question, Chris and company?
What was your favorite team to play against? Why?
Your favorite team to play against and why? Teagues, what you want a second?
What are your guys' names?
Sadie, Maddie.
Sadie and Maddie.
Wait,
I love your jerseys.
Are those Spirit jerseys I see?
Those are great.
So cool.
Love it. They look awesome. Teagues, favorite team to play against and why? You can go back to college too if you want.
Oh wow, back to college too.
If you want to, if that helps your answer, if it makes it more complicated, just stick with the pros.
I mean, I guess I haven't I kind of, before I choose a team in the pros, I feel like I kind of want to play every team in the pros first before I choose that one, which, you know, I'm hoping will happen at some point. But if I go back to college, I definitely have to say UCLA. I mean, that's who we ended up beating in the national championship. So, I mean, who wouldn't want to say that? But
Casual.
yeah, each time we played them, it was always just a fight till the absolute last minute of the game, no matter what the score was. So it was always a battle, and I really respect them as a team and a school. And so I love playing against them. And I knew a lot of the girls on the other team too.
And you see the poll pop up. If you want to let us know, just it's great to kind of know where everybody is planning on seeing us this year. So if you want to throw up your answer to that question as we get the answers to Maddie and Sadie's question. Aubrey, favorite team to play against and why?
I'm going to have to go with the North Carolina Courage just because they're so good. Every year they just are incredible. They're so athletic and fast, and we know that it's going to be a challenging game that will require us to be our best. So I just love the challenge. We had an incredible win against them last year at the Plex. That was one of my favorite victories in my entire career. So anytime we play them, it's just a great game.
Yeah, it didn't seem as fun when we were rewatching it together on Twitch last weekend. Just watching Aubrey sweat all over again through the first about 25 minutes of that game. But, man, it was fun at the end. Meggie, your favorite team to play against and why?
Probably Portland. I've always enjoyed playing against them because I feel like we always match up well against them, even in years where we've struggled. That was always a game where I felt like we had a really good chance to win, I think, because we both kind of play a similar style. We like to keep the ball and possess, so it's kind of fun to go head-to-head with two similar style teams.
For sure. Maddie, Sadie, that was a great question. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, girls.
All right, let's go to William next. William, thanks for checking in. I think we got William now. Go ahead with your question, William. Oh, now he's muted again. There we go.
So I was wondering, you know, I know you guys have been in sort of in flux coming back from spring training and then with the whole COVID-19 and everything. And then now you're going to be splitting time between, you know, 3 different venues. And then next year moving your training operations over to Segra. Have you all started to talk about kind of what that's going to look like in terms of transition plan, or is that kind of a distant thought in your minds right now?
Obbs, captain first on this one.
Yeah.
We're definitely excited to have a new home base and be with DC United. I think that will be really professional. It'll be great to have all our facilities in one place. We love the Plex. It's been great for us. The fields there are lovely, but we have to travel somewhere else to do our lifts. Doesn't really have like a cafeteria set up.
Yeah.
So the hope is next year everything will just be in one place. So we'll have cafeteria, go in for breakfast, go train, get our lifts in, get our physical therapy, everything, just a one-stop shop. So that'll just make everything really convenient. We'll have some nice meeting rooms for video sessions. So we're looking forward to that, but honestly, it's kind of a distant memory or, you know, distant future, especially with everything going on with COVID-19. I just want to get back to playing.
Yeah. And William, who's with you there?
We got Charlotte, spirit member for 2041.
All right.
Love
Hey,
that.
Lauren, get back in here. We got tickets to sell for 2041. Awesome. Thanks for your question. Appreciate it.
Sure.
All right. Next question is actually going to come from our Q&A. Patty was asking, and actually Patty saw our video promoting next week's podcast with Jay, where she is geeking out over getting to talk to Abdul El Sayed, who is a leading epidemiologist. Jay studied, taken a bunch of classes on health policy and is really interested into that stuff. So that's going to be an awesome conversation on Wednesday night. And so Patty was wondering, for all of you, what are some non-soccer things that you guys geek out over? I'll start with Tegan, who geeks out over taking my job and a potential future podcast topic, amongst other things.
Yeah. So outside of soccer, me and Craig have been talking about this a lot. Besides, of course, wanting to take his job. Just kidding.
She is a broadcast major, so that's where that came from.
I absolutely want to go into broadcasting, sports commentating. It's something that I've grown up around my entire life. My dad works for NBC back in the Bay Area, so TV business is definitely something that's in my blood. But I guess my other biggest thing is the fact that I'm a Disney freak. So I spend a lot of my time off at the soccer field watching Disney films, actually hoping to do a podcast on a series I just watched on Disney Plus called The Imagineering Story. And it basically starts out with Disney from the beginning times of Disneyland and works all the way through the nowadays and how everything has changed so much. But that is definitely something that I'm looking into day in and day out. And some people call it childish, but I mean, it is, but it's just definitely a way of life for me and my family.
I feel like you have taken an adult's enthusiasm into Disney.
I have, for sure. It's definitely something that I look forward to every year, of getting to spend my time going to Disneyland with my family and my loved ones. So it's definitely, I hold it near and dear to my heart.
Yeah, the Imagineering Story is awesome on Disney Plus. Free plug for Disney, because clearly they need the attention. Let's go, Meggie. What do you got? What's the non-soccer thing that you geek out over?
I don't know if I geek out over it, but a non-soccer thing that I like to do to kind of just take my mind off things is cooking. I like to cook in the evenings. Haven't been doing too much of it lately because the Spirit has actually been providing us meals for dinner, which has been really nice and very appreciative of that. But during the season, I like to experiment with cooking different things and trying out different recipes.
So Aubrey, when we do baking with Bledsoe, is Meggie going to have to cook dinner before and then you've got dessert?
Oh yeah. He's got the main course. I'll get the dessert.
All right,
sure.
we'll team up. Perfect.
Also, I've been meaning to talk about this in the content meetings. I want to do some Instagram lives with players cooking, because I think that could be fun. So Meggie, stay tuned for that. Just sneak peek for the season ticket holders here.
There you go.
And I guess Aubrey, cat's out of the bag. Baking's definitely on the list. You want to talk about that, or you want to throw something else out there?
Yeah, love to bake, try new things. Try to make something for everyone's birthday on the team. And I also love to travel. So I'm always kind of planning my next trip somewhere, or going on some sort of adventure. Love to hike. So I hiked Old Rag outside of DC, Sugarloaf Mountain. I love Great Falls. I love planning little adventures or staying home and cooking and baking.
What's the top, like, if you could just go on a trip? Obviously we can't go on any trips right now, but if we were allowed to go on trips and you could just go somewhere, like take costs out of it, you just get to plan your trip, where are you going?
I would love to hike Machu Picchu in Peru.
Wow.
That's up there on my list.
Beautiful.
That's awesome. That's intense. All right. That's a great question, Patty.
Awesome.
And by the way, because Meggie mentioned it, right now our players are getting fed by Super FD, and you can too. Use the code SPIRIT10 and you can get 10% off, which is really cool. And that means you have to go to the grocery store less, which is also cool, because that's not something anybody wants to do right now. All right. Next question is from Zach, and Zach looks to have some company as well. Apparently, if you got cute kids, then you get to ask a question. Those are the rules. I don't make them, but it's worked so far. Zach, who do we have with us, and what questions do we have?
I'm Vivian, and that's Charlotte.
Can you say it a little bit louder?
I'm Vivian, and that's Charlotte.
Okay, and what's your question?
What are your favorite movies?
Your favorite movies?
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to let Tegan answer that, or she's going to take up the rest of the time listing every Disney movie that's ever been made. Teags, you can go first.
definitely. I have my favorite Disney movies, but then I have my favorite movies outside of Disney. Favorite Disney movie, Toy Story 2, but my favorite movie outside of Disney would probably have to be Bend It Like Beckham. I grew up off that movie.
Obs?
That's tough. I really like The Italian Job. Kind of a thriller. Mark Wahlberg, Charlize Theron. They drive Mini Coopers around, and that's where I became obsessed with Mini Coopers. I now have one. I also really like the movie Hardball. Old school baseball movie with Keanu Reeves.
Nice. Meggie?
Probably too old for you guys.
Yeah, that's such a hard question. Tegan will enjoy this. Last night, one of my favorite movies is a Disney movie, in fact, Pocahontas. And I actually watched it last night.
Last night?
Yeah, last night, I swear. So that's definitely up there. And I haven't seen it in a while, but when the movie Avatar came out, I loved that movie. I watched it like all the time. So that's probably up there on my list as well.
If you would like to see how the Avatar ride was made at Disney, you can watch the Imagineering story. So,
yeah, you can.
see, watch it all come together.
All right.
Hey, thanks for your question, guys.
I actually watched Onward last night, too. I'll give a little plug for that. That was cute.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next question. We're going to go to Miranda in the chat, which means I have to find Miranda's question in the chat. There we are. Your top songs to train to. Get the playlist game going. Meggie, you had the aux down in Florida, so I feel like I got to go to you first.
Well, I'm a big music person, so literally from the moment I get up, I put Spotify on and I have it playing in the background the entire day whenever I'm doing anything. So since I've just been at my house the entire time now, I've been going through a lot of different genres. But yeah, it varies. But if I'm doing like a lift or something where I want like some really like hard music, I'm definitely more into like rap. I like Roddy Ricch. I've been listening to a lot of him lately. High Fashion always gets me pumped. But like if I'm on more of a run, I can listen to more pop music, like sing along songs to kind of distract me. And could do some Ariana Grande or some of her or anyone. But I like to mix it up.
Yeah, there's a lot of different stuff happening in the training room in Florida, and Maggie was in charge of it all.
Yeah.
He only complained a little bit, but really,
no, he complained the entire time. He was cranky that morning. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, no one else was complaining. It was just Richie.
Thank you.
Dude, you're doing great, Maggie.
Thanks.
You're doing great. Obs, what about you? When you're trying to get in the zone, when you're training, what kind of music do you go to?
That's tough. It honestly just depends what kind of mood I'm in. If I'm just kind of taking my time, don't really need to be motivated. It's like sunny day, just like a country playlist. But if I really don't want to do the workout, then we'll go more R&B, rap, like maybe some old school Eminem, throw it in there, something that will like make me get into beast mode kind of thing.
Teagues, what about you?
I guess I probably also have to go with like R&B. I'm a huge throwbacks R&B soul, so like old Chris Brown, old Usher, a lot of that older stuff, which a lot of people kind of find interesting just because it's a little bit more low beat. I find that if I try and go too much with the amping, I just end up kind of amping myself up too much in a way. So I try and I like to just stay a little bit more calm and things. But I mean, I can always go with rap. There's nothing that, really stops me from listening to that either. So it kind of just depends on the day.
Depends on the day. We're going to, at some point, get some Spotify playlists going that we'll share with everybody. So keep an eye out on social media for that. All right, let's go to Steph next. What's up, Steph?
Yo.
What's up, Steph?
Hey, Steph.
So do you guys have any tattoos?
Any tattoos?
Random, I know.
No.
No
No.
from Tegan. Megs?
No.
No. Hobbs?
I have a white ink cross on my wrist, and you're not going to be able to see it, but it looks like a scar. Yeah, definitely can't see it, but it's there. I promise. I'll show you when we have
Butterfly.
new game.
That one's fresh.
Yeah.
What
like
is that?
fresh. So if I were to get a spirit-related tattoo, what should I get?
Ooh.
Oh.
Man.
The logo?
Could you get something with like something DC related, like a monument or something, like an outline of a monument with like, I don't know, a soccer ball?
I mean,
something?
probably.
Like skyline. Is the spirit
I
like that? We should if we don't.
Like either from the badge, like either the DC part of the badge would be really cool, or the claw.
Yeah.
I feel like those would be.
I'll have to get that one next.
Yeah. Also, Meggie, talk to Bernie about a logo idea. That was something with the monument.
Yeah, that could be sick.
Also, I saw Jeffrey in the chat saying Paige got a new tat. Yeah, she did, and she was posting about it today on her Instagram. That thing's intense. Got a couple. We got a couple players' tattoos. This just happens to be 3 that are outside of Aubrey's invisible white ink. Clean.
There's somewhere.
In that department. All right. Thanks, Steph. Always appreciate you. Sarah is next. What's up, Sarah?
Is that me? This Sarah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. There's always lots of Sarahs. Hi, good to see you guys. So, yeah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi. Love watching y'all's games. Big fan of soccer in general. I follow UVA women's soccer as well. Awesome there. In some ways, y'all are living the dream. You've worked so hard for these jobs. You've made it. You're there. But a lot of people make assumptions about what it is to be a professional athlete, or even specifically a professional female athlete. And so I was wondering what you wish people knew about your job, or even for young girls who are aspiring to your job, what you think they need to understand before they pursue it.
Who wants to take that one?
That was a great question.
Oh, Obbs, I'll let you take that one first because you've been a professional the longest.
I needed some more thought. I would say, first, it's not as glamorous as you think, but that's not to say it's not worth it. Especially when I started off, this is going to be my 6th year in the NWSL, but I've played overseas in Norway, Denmark, and Australia now, and been on 3 NWSL clubs. And in the early days, we did our laundry every day. We weren't fed. We'd stroll up to training, and it kind of felt like a club practice. So it was tough making ends meet, not making much money, and there weren't that many resources available to us. So yeah, it's not as glamorous as you'd think in that respect, but it is worth it. Like, none of us do it for the money, and I would say the benefits far outweigh. Like, I love my teammates. I've made some incredible friends. I've been to incredible places around the world throughout my career, and I wouldn't trade any of that for anything. So yeah, I'd say that it's not as glamorous, and it's usually a lot more work than people realize. Like, you think, oh, you just go train and you're free the rest of the day, but it really is a full-time job that affects every decision I make in my life. I got to make sure I'm getting the right sleep, the right nutrition. It's going to the gym, it's watching video. So there's a lot of commitment outside of the actual work that we do on the field that I don't think people realize. So you've got to be committed to being a total athlete, not just, oh, I love, kicking around the ball with my friends, but it permeates every aspect of your life. But I absolutely love it, and I'm blessed to do what I do, and I'm so thankful that now it's becoming more glamorous, and I love playing for the Spirit, and we have incredible resources available to us and incredible ownership and staff that are behind us every step of the way.
Teagues, you've had 1 year as a pro. What about for you?
I guess something that I realized as going into, this professional job is just like Aubrey said, it's not as glamorous as everyone might think. And I guess for me, I found out that it's not as glamorous in the way of mentally. It can be very draining. There are very highs and very lows of what we do in our job. Just like any other sport, injuries come into play. Like for me last year, it was something that was really hard to get past, and mentally it affects all aspects of your life, whether that be talking to your family, whether it be, doing something in your daily life. It's just like Aubrey said, it's always on your mind. Like what you do prepares you for being on that field, whether it's off the field, whether it's laying on the couch when you should be rolling out. So I think mentally it's a barrier that you have to get past. But I think every time you get past that barrier, it makes you a stronger person, a stronger woman on the other side of it. And I think that's just like something that I wouldn't be able to get without being in this job. So I'm really appreciative for all the mental barriers that I've had to get past even through my first year. And I know that I'm going to go through more, and it's not glamorous, but on the other side, as long as you come out stronger, that's all that really matters in the end.
That's a great answer. Both great answers. I love this question. So Maggie, I'm going to let you take a swing at it too. I want 3 answers here.
Yeah, they've both had really awesome responses. Aubrey took some of that, what I was going to say in terms of just it's more involved than people, I think, realize the things you have to do outside of training and how all of your decisions are affected by your performance on the field. But one other thing I would just say is that for anyone interested in playing professionally, the difference, I think, going from a college level to this is that you are kind of solely responsible for yourself, and you really have to be your own person holding yourself accountable. In college, I think, you get recruited, they give you money. So, it's a little bit different. You have a lot of close friends that you go to school with and everything, but here it's your job. It's very competitive. I am responsible for myself, and just the decisions that I make are going to affect the team, obviously. But if I'm not performing and I'm making decisions that are, making my performance worse, then it's going to come back on me. So it's just a lot of discipline, self-discipline, and responsibility to do your best. So, the team continues to want you, and you can provide the skill or whatever the team has you on the team for to be able to perform.
It's a great question, Sarah. Thank you. All right, next up, we have Nick, and it looks like Nick has company. Back to cute kids. Let's go. Sarah had an awesome question, but we got to get back to the cute kids. Nick, who do we have with us, and what's the question?
So this is Aurora here. I'm her quote unquote host to let her be on the call. She's the one who wants to be here.
Hi.
Hi.
What's your question for everybody?
What age did you start playing soccer?
What age did you start playing soccer? Meggie, I asked you that on a podcast once. What's the answer?
I started playing when I was 4. That was when I was on my first rec team, but I was kicking the ball around. I have an older sister who also played soccer. So I started at a really young age, just fooling around with her and my younger brother in the backyard, kicking the ball around. But yes, 4 was when I actually joined my first team.
Teagues?
As the same as Meggie, I also have an older sister who played soccer, and my mom was her coach. So I started early. I started when I was 3 for the simple fact that my mom and sister were on the field, which made me want to be on the field. So I started playing when I was 3.
And Obs, you had 2 of you running
I think
around.
4 for me. Yeah. Me and my twin sister just played rec soccer. Did everything as a kid. Probably 4.
4. How old were you when you started playing?
Probably 5.
Probably 5. I think that's still pretty good.
It's fair.
Thank you for your question.
Try out all the sports. See what you like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
By the way, if you want a very funny video of Aubrey and her twin, or really it's more of your twin sister, it's more of Amber. Orlando posted
she's the star.
a video the other day of when I guess you were hurt and then Amber came down and visited and then just dropped crutches and started running around and confused your coach down there.
Yeah, I love pulling pranks on whoever I can when my twin sister comes to visit me. So we pranked my Orlando Pride coach back in the day. We haven't gotten Richie yet. She was here last year on like a game day. So I'm a game day sacred, you know. I don't want to screw anything up. I thought of sending her in with like a sling but he would maybe lose it. So we'll see.
You know, it's probably not sacred. Media day, so I'm screwed. All right.
I'll brainstorm.
Yeah. All right. Next question is actually going to come from the Q&A. And obviously for good reason. One of the things that is getting a lot of attention right now is washing your hands. And we all know that we're supposed to do this for 20 seconds at a time and that there are many tricks to doing this. So Angie wanted to know, what is your go-to 20-second hand washing song?
Good as hell. Lizzo.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Way better than the ABCs. Teagues, do you have a
I've
go-to?
heard happy birthday twice is 20 seconds, but I'm just kind of counting. That's boring.
Aubrey's is 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Teagues, do you have a go-to song or are you just doing the counting?
I've just been doing the counting and I've, been thoroughly, I think, just focusing on my hands that I just haven't really thought of a song that I'm just like trying to scrub. So yeah, I haven't really been singing. I've just been counting and scrubbing really hard.
That's funny. All right. We have Patty up next and looks like Patty has some company too. Patty, who do we have with us and what's your guys' questions? Can we take them off of mute, please? And thank you. There we go.
Okay, here we go. This is Sophia. She's very excited to be with you guys.
Hi, Sophia.
Hi, Sophia.
What's your question, Sophia?
What is your favorite TV show?
What is your favorite TV show? Tegan looks like she's just going through a list. Go ahead.
I am so excited because they actually finished filming not too long ago and were able to completely get through the season of it. So I have a full season that just started last week that has made me so excited during all this. It's called The Challenge. It's on MTV and it's been around since 1998. So it's a really good show.
What is that on, Tegan?
It's on MTV.
I did not realize that show was still going.
Yeah, so I stream it from my parents' Xfinity account. So we record it and me and my sister absolutely love this show. So we text every time we watch it together or we FaceTime call. We talk about all the drama on it, but it's a really old TV show. This is its 35th season.
I remember. I have a guilty pleasure for that show too.
Yeah.
Actually, when I was younger and I wasn't supposed to be watching MTV, I would put it on and whenever I'd hear my mom walking down the hallway, I'd quickly grab the remote and change the channel. But it's it's addicting.
It is a very addicting show and it just it has a bunch of physical challenge mixed with your drama and just outside of the house drama, where people come from and they end up, it's a show with a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. That is the accurate description of that show. And as your face started to light up in excitement, that is not where I thought that answer was going to be going.
It just started a week ago. I got so excited because these seasons are so long. So it's every week I have something to look forward to. So it's going to get me through everything.
I feel like we should just do a new video series called Tegan Gets Excited About Things.
True. I think there'd be a lot.
I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of enthusiasm. Meggie, what about you?
Oh, that's a hard question. I don't know.
Hard because you have a lot of options, or you're not a big TV person?
I haven't been watching too much TV right now. I've been watching this comedy show called Schitt's Creek. It's pretty funny. But I also love Queer Eye. That's on Netflix. That show just makes me happy. I cry like every single episode. So yeah, that's always a good one. Or any baking show. I love Great British Bake Off. Seen all of those episodes. Yeah, Aubrey, you know what I'm talking about. Or like Fixer Upper. Yeah, depends on the mood.
It's definitely British baking show for you. What
Yeah,
else? A great
big
British
fan of
baking
that.
show.
They had an Aussie spinoff too, the
Ooh.
Australian Bake Off. Yeah, so anything Food Channel. And then my guilty pleasure is The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, which is kind of embarrassing, but a lot of us on the team watch it together, and it becomes a bit of a, like, you know, social get-together, fun thing. But that's about it. I don't watch too much TV, honestly.
It's a good question, though. Good question. By the
What's
way,
your
Obbs,
favorite show?
Yeah.
What's your favorite show?
Yeah, any recommendations?
Yeah, nailed it.
Say it.
Nailed it.
Nailed it? Oh my gosh, I watched that too on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
That's
a good one.
Thank you, ladies. You
I
made our day.
Oh,
of course.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kenney. Thanks, Sophia.
Bye.
Thank you.
By the way, Obbs, did you check out those Bon Appetit videos I told you about?
I haven't yet.
Okay.
I will. I
You
will.
want to see a
Remind me
gourmet
again.
pastry chef make like your everyday candies. It's on YouTube. It's very interesting, fascinating, like a gourmet Reese's cup or something like that, Pop-Tarts. This question from Lauren in the Q&A. By the way, we have an empty queue. We got about 10 more minutes probably if there's questions. So if you have a question and want to hop in line, just hit the little raise hand button in the chat and we will get to you over the next couple of minutes. This one is from the Q&A, though, from Lauren Simpson, who is a board game geek, her words. Do you guys have a favorite game, and do you guys ever get together as a team and do game nights? Meggie?
Guys, I love game nights, but usually no one comes unless I can duck them
That's
in
so
with
sad.
dessert. That is my strategy. I tell them there's cookies, and then I'll get some people to come play games with me.
Hold on. Maggie,
Um,
you guys are making Aubrey
I don't
bribe
live
you?
there. I don't live there. It's like inconvenient. In the
NBA,
evening,
yeah.
I'm going against, like, with traffic. It would take me like an hour.
No, it's totally fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like an
Or-
hour and a half.
Otherwise,
Remember that
I'd
one
be
time
there.
you came up?
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise-
Yeah. That's a
She's a
perfect
pass.
example.
She's a pass. For the movie, we tried to go watch a movie, and it took her like an hour and a half. And then the movie was, sold out?
We couldn't
So
even get into the
she got to
movie.
drive home.
That was my last
so
attempt.
sad.
Yeah.
It sounds like you guys need
Yeah,
to
we haven't
schedule
gotten
stuff
her back
better.
since. It was traumatic.
Look,
You need to
I
schedule
can't.
We just
stuff
have to
after
come to her.
traffic.
I think that's what we'll have to do.
Okay.
But anyways, no, I love games. The team plays a lot of bananagrams on the road. I'll bring Dutch Blitz. We play that just like on the floor before we board a plane. I'm a big fan of Ticket to Ride for board games. I'll play that a lot with my family. If you've seen that one. But yeah, we got a lot of gamers on the team and puzzlers.
Teagues, you got a favorite?
I'm definitely a big puzzle person. Board games, like, for sure. I did a family Zoom call. I do one every Thursday night with all the girls in the family. And last night we did a Yahtzee one, and the week before we did passwords. So family is definitely a big game and board game, but I wouldn't say that we have like a go-to one. It's just kind of, we switch it up every week because it's just fun that way.
And Meggie, do you have a favorite if you were to ever, make the drive?
No, I actually like playing games. Like when I'm at home with my family, I'll see, and at home, I'm the person trying to get everyone to play and no one wants to play with me. So Aubrey, I feel for you. But my family likes to play Clue, and it's pretty funny because no one ever wants to play with me because I'm very bad at the game, to the point where, like, unintentionally, I, like, mislead people with my answers. Like I will forget that I have a card in my hand, so like they go to guess the thing and it's wrong because I gave the wrong information, and then I always swoop in and win at the last minute. So I have a bad reputation in my house.
So you cheat.
Unintentionally. Yes.
I was gonna say,
So,
Aubrey,
yes,
maybe
I
it's a
guess I
good
am
thing
a
she
cheater,
can't make game
but-
night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe having cheating Meggie over there for game night. Keep her away.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right, next question is gonna come from Sydney. Sydney, how are you? Is that Sydney there, or do we have more company?
My mom is here with him.
Oh, I thought I saw someone else in there. What's your question?
My question is, who are your soccer role models growing up?
Ooh, that is a great one. Meggie, I'm gonna start with you on this one.
Okay. So I watched a lot of soccer growing up, like mainly men's, just because it was just what was more accessible to watch online. So I watched a lot of Premier League, but I never really had someone specifically that I looked up to as a professional. I think I more had inspiration of players that were around me. So like my older sister, I really looked up to her, and then just older players at the club that I played at, because I was in close contact with them all the time. People that I've played with and against and around are people I think that I've drawn inspiration from, just because like when you're in close contact with them, I think I saw them as, you know, something that was achievable, and that I was able to draw inspiration from various players, things that I liked that they did that I wanted to incorporate into my game.
Aubrey?
There are a couple. I feel like everyone who grew up around my age loved Mia Hamm. So she was a big one of mine before I was a goalkeeper. But then once I became a goalkeeper, I really liked to watch Brianna Scurry play. So I'd cheer her on in, you know, the World Cup and Olympics and everything. Probably those two.
And Teagues, what about you?
I definitely have to say, like, Maggie's routes, like, my mom played soccer, and that is actually a reason why my number is 9. That was my mom's number that she played with growing up. And then, like Maggie said, I ended up watching a lot of soccer when I was younger, so I didn't have, like, certain people that I may have looked up to, but I know, like, players that I've definitely wanted to base how I play off of, so like Dani Alves and Jordi Alba, both outside backs that I would, you know, love to play, but then also like Kelly O'Hara, because she went to Stanford before I did, and now plays at an outside back position on the full team. So those are people, Mia Hamm, Abby Wambach, you know, just some of the other big namers too are people who I definitely watched growing up playing soccer.
Cool. Great question. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Sydney.
Bye.
All right. And our last question is going to come from Kyle. We can get Kyle connected up to the audio. There we go. Kyle, let's unmute you and let you ask your question. Thanks for hanging out the whole time.
Connection issues going on there. Phone kind of left out on me there.
We got you.
No, I wanted to ask a little bit about the league, just because last year with the success of the the national team and all the television deals and everything that was announced, it really seemed like the league was set to take off this season. And then obviously with all this stoppage of play going on and stoppage of training and everything, it feels like when sports come back, everyone's just going to be binging on sports. And I didn't know if that was a good thing for the NWSL or if it was a bad thing, if anybody was doing anything kind of prepare for that, or what they thought that was going to do to the league.
Yeah. Aubrey, I'll let you take the first shot at that one.
Yeah, I think it should be good for the league. I know as a club, the Spirit, we're trying to do a lot of online content, things like this, just to keep you guys engaged and don't forget about us and ready to come support us when the games get going and you're able to. So hopefully everyone is missing sports as much as we all are and can't wait for us to get going again and to support us however we're able to once this pandemic kind of passes over. But yeah, hopefully we've got this great new broadcast deal and we can keep building our momentum from last year. And now with the Olympics pushed back to next year, that'll help too, I think. So hopefully this will be a springboard to keep the league growing and not kind of a speed bump. But we'll just see. We need you guys to keep supporting us all the way, and looking forward to hopefully getting back out on the field soon.
Teagues?
Nah, she said it perfectly.
Meggie, anything you wanted to add?
No, yeah. Aubrey nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just let captain talk.
Thanks, team.
Amen.
You know, we're definitely, I can say on behalf of the club, like we are definitely trying to make it so that you guys don't feel like we're as far away as the game might be. We all want to, you know, everyone's job is a lot easier when it's back out on the field, and, you know, we can be in that normal routine, and that goes for those of us who are doing all this content stuff too. Like I'd much rather be doing stuff with these athletes on the field versus, you know, Zoom calls. But in the meantime, doing these Zoom calls has been a lot of fun, and it's a way to get to know everybody and build these connections as human beings, not just athletes. And hopefully you guys are enjoying it. It seems to be going over well. So
yeah, no, I think it's really cool. It really is. You can see a little bit more into the players, who they are themselves and stuff.
For sure. And, you know, and I'm not just saying this because it's also the thing that I have listed at the end here to promo for tomorrow, but I legitimately think one of the coolest things we're doing is the match replays. And it's just not often, if you are a fan of sport, that you get to get the insight you get of watching a game with someone who played in it. It is a sports fan's dream to be in that film study kind of environment, and that's what our match replays are. And so with that, we'll see you guys tomorrow at noon for match replay. And that's going to be a good time. Dorian Bailey's on tomorrow with us for that, and she scored in the game we're replaying. So, you know, how did that happen? You'll hear straight from Dorian. I think that's really cool. By the way, Obs, Ian's on tomorrow. Any message for Ian to pass along?
Aww. I miss him.
Any give people the 20-second pitch of why they should watch match replay tomorrow because of Ian.
Oh, I can't discredit Dorian. Dorian's actually got quite a lot of sass
Dorian's
in her,
low-key
you know?
funny.
So hopefully that'll come out. She is hilarious. So definitely tune in for Dorian. Tune in for Ian because he's hilarious if you can understand his Scottish accent. But yeah, he's just a big old softy teddy bear. So he's a fun guy. That'll be a fun one to tune into.
And then Teagues, the third person on with us tomorrow is Avery.
Avery.
So get your mob shout out in for people that don't know who Avery. Give us the Avery 411.
Oh, Avery is just a bubbly, outgoing personality. She can make you smile no matter what. She's not afraid to be the life of the party, and I love that about her. She's just 110% herself, and that's all you could ever ask for someone. So she's definitely a very important part of mob, and mob mentality will always live on.
All right, so we'll see everybody tomorrow for that. And yeah, Dorian. If we can get peak Dorian, there's nothing better than peak Dorian. So we're looking forward to that. Thanks to everybody who has said kind words about the stuff we're doing. We really do appreciate it. And, you know, we've had a blast getting to do this stuff with the players, and are just hoping, just like you are, that we're back on the field as soon as we possibly can be. Thanks everyone for coming out. Again, if you have any questions on anything regarding your season ticket holder stuff, reach out to Lauren, reach out to Zoe, reach out to Alia. They're here for you, and they're going to be able to answer any questions that you have. Thanks behind the scenes to Chad and Bernie helping us run the chat. Thanks, Obs. Thanks, Meggie. Thanks, Teagues.
No problem.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, that's
Bye,
fun.
guys.
Hey, guys.
And we will see everybody soon, and see you tomorrow on Twitch for match replay. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Night. Bye.